where we have stopped. So you said which what type of variable, what type of names only can be used here, right? So I'll
Yeah.
say what type of variables we cannot use. Let me say I'm going to take an input, some value 5. Okay. And I'm also going to use the variable here. Let's just run the program and see the output. What happened? Nothing happened, right?
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing happened. Here, as variable is being assigned to some other function also. Sorry, here I'm assigning a variable with some other value also. Nothing happened. What if here I will use a variable value here like 0 and just run it. Don't think something. What happened here?
So it converted all variables into 0.
Yes. Still, when I'm interested to print my, when I'm interested to know which line am, which number of line or number of times is mirror is printed, it is not allowing it to perform this operation. So what is happening? It is just printing it
Printed.
here itself. It's just printing 0 value. So whenever we are mentioning some variable name in the for loop, or we have already used that variable in some other purpose, we should not initialize it again. It disturbs our flow of program. So we should not initialize that value. Okay. If you are all, if once, okay.
If in case for variable we enter, right, in the
Yes.
program,
Yeah.
delete the var, just
Okay.
delete the variable, and here also print if you delete the variable.
You,
Okay,
if
now
you
we
are,
execute the program. Yeah, okay, now once
now it
execute the
gives me the
program.
out, it gives me an error because the
Okay.
for loop syntax is not satisfied, right? Let us say
Uh-huh.
I'll keep some variable I here and enter. This is what your doubt, right?
Yeah.
Here it has printed some 0 value, right? But I'll show you the real thing. In previously, I have assigned this variable with a value called 0, and this Python notebook, this Google Colab is remembering that value. What if Google Collaboratory does not remember? You just run the program here. What happened? It is showing me that the variable var, see, var is not defined. Is it fine? So
Yeah.
whenever you are using a variable without declaring it in our program,
Value.
then it gives me an error.
Okay.
But here previously I have used the I have, what do you say, I have declared the variable with value 0. So here it has printed 0. Let me say previously I didn't use I didn't assign any value to this va and run the program. It gives me an error now. Name va is not defined. Okay. This Google Collaborator notebook remember the values. So if you are assigning some value in this cell and you are using the same value again in this cell, then it just gives. But that's not what we are interested in. When we are writing a new program, our new variable should not be assigned with any old values. If we are
Value.
initializing with a new value, it should only take new value. Okay.
Okay.
Here, if even though I use variable, it is just giving 0 because it is initialized already. But when you do it in the compiler, it gives me an error. You just remember this error. It is a name error. There are errors which we'll be discussing later, but you just remember so that you can have a clear picture. This is the
Okay.
variable name error, as variable is not declared. This is all about this program. We have just printed our name for 10 times. Let us do the same thing using a while loop. While, let me again take some j value, j less than or equal to 10. So to use this j, I need to initialize this j with either 1 or 0. Let me initialize it with 1 and using a colon and a indentation, and I am printing its value. Let me say I am printing my name again with j as its index. Now if I run the program, oh no, what is this? Okay, here we can guess something we can guess here. Can someone say why it is just continuing, it is not stopping? The program is being executed, right?
Because j is every time less than 1 and we have not incremented j.
Yes, simple. I just forgot it, please. Okay, j is equal to j plus 1, or you can use a shorthand notation. Now it just prints for 10 times. 1 to 10, it has just printed for 10 times and the program is over. This example is to make you clear with the usage of file loop, sorry, these loops. That is simple. And let us see the next program. What is the next program? Write a Python program to print all the multiples 3, 5, 7 and below 100. We just need to print the multiples of 3 and 5 and 7 which are below 100. Here what we need to do is, I am expecting the logic from you people only. Who will be answering? Here I need to go from values from 0 to 100 and I need to check whether a given number is a multiple of 3 or 5 or 7 and I need to print their values. Simple. So did you understand the question?
So we can use modulus.
Okay, one thing is we can use modulus. Yes, that's the first thing. And I need to run my program for 100 times, right? 0 to 100. 100 times I need to do the same thing. I need to repeat my code. So what should I use?
Loops.
Yes, I should use loops. It can either be a for loop or a while loop.
While
And
loop.
next thing is, as you have said, we need to use modulo operator. In addition to the modulo operator, what I need to check? I need to check a condition, right? Whether it is divisible by 3 or 5 or 7. So in order to check a condition, we need to use our control statements. They are, what are those control statements? We can use if or if else or something like that. We need to use a conditional statement with if and check for the condition and repeat the loop for 100 times. So I'll just write program for only 3. You people say me the changes for 5 and 7. Is it comfortable if I use I every time? I in range of in range of 100. It will take from 0 to 100. Now what I need to do is I need to check for a condition. If the given I, initially I starts from 0, if I modulo 3 is equal to 0, if it is a multiple of 5, if I is a multiple of 3, then it gives me the condition as true, and whatever the statement I return below this if condition, it will be executed or printed. Let us say I, just let us print the I value. If I is a multiple of 3, it just prints it. This is a program, that's it. Let us use a space, run the program. See, it has iterated for 100 times. What it is doing is, first of all, I is taking a value of 1 and it is checking for the condition. If 1 is a multiple of 3, condition failed, so this is not executed, the print statement is not executed. And when I value increments to 2, again the same thing happens. When the I value increments to 3, what happens? 3 modulo 3, the remainder is 0, and we are printing this I value, which means that we are printing I value 3, and we are using a end. Using this end, we can add something like something spaces like this here. If you are not using this end value, all the outputs will be printed in every new line, and I'm not interested to waste space here. There is nothing wrong to use like this, but if you want to check our output, we need to check in this fashion. Every output will be printed in a new line. So to just avoid that, I'm using end statement. So all my outputs will be printed in a single line itself. This is just how you check the condition if a number is multiple of 3 or not, and we are just printing. And in the question they have asked only up to 100, so we have just printed only up to 100. If I'm interested to print up to 1000, then it gives me up to 1000. Yes, check here, it will take up to 999 values, and we are not interested to see that such a big output. Let's just restrict ourselves to 100, and if I run it, it gives me the output. So next what I need to do, if I need to check whether a given number is multiple of 5 or 7 from a range of 1 to 100, what I am supposed to do, what are the changes I need to do in the code? I'll just copy, paste, just a small condition. If I just change a small condition, then my program is over. If someone can just say it, I'll be changing it. No, did you understand it, guys?
Yes, sir.
You have understood it, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the change that I am supposed to do to print the multiples of 5?
This change 3 as 5, sir.
Yeah, simple. Just I am supposed to change the value here, the value 3. Here I am checking whether the number is a multiple of 3 or not, right? So if I change it to 5, then it checks for the multiples of 5 and print them. If I change it to 7, it checks for the multiples of 7 and print them. Now just let us just run the program. What is the error I have done? Invalid syntax. Here I didn't use comma. I need to use comma, right? This is just for your understanding. I have given this statement. It has just given me in a single line. I am interested to print in new lines. I am just using print statement. Here I'll just explain it. Don't worry. Now if I run the program, oh, it is printing the same thing for multiple times. Let us just take it out. I just forgot this. I'll show how to print in that manner also. Don't worry. So if you see here, first of all, we got the multiples of 3, and next we got the multiples of 5 up to 100, and next we got the multiples of 7 up to 100. So if you are interested to print the statement also, you need to print the statement before the for loop itself, right? Print of the multiples of 3 are, if you specify something like this, and is equal to some space, just see what happens. The multiples of 3 are, these are the multiples of 3. What you need to do is copy the same line and add it in between the two for loops. The previous one is for multiples of 3, and this line is for multiples of 5, and this line is for multiples of 7. See, this is what I expected in the previous code, but it printed multiple times. That is not what I'm interested in. This is what I'm interested in. Here I am printing the multiples of 3 are these values, the multiples of 5 are these values, the multiples of 7 are these values. This is the code. So
Sir, what if you use AND operator in one line?
AND operator in one line to check if a number is a multiple of all the numbers. Is that what you are
Yes,
interested
sir.
in? Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
That is what I'll be explaining in the next. Let me just copy the code. There is no change, right? You'll be using just this line. In this place, if I'm interested to print some values which are multiples of 3 and 5 and 7 at a time in a range of 0 to 100, what I need to do, I need to
And operator.
extend this condition. I need to use AND operator, and I need to mention again if it is modulo 5 equal to 0. Again, I need to use AND operator. I modulo 7 equal to 0. And if I run it, it gives me the interested output.
Sir, but we won't get the multiples of 3, 5, and 7, sir.
What?
We won't get the multiples of 3, 5, and 7, but we only get the multiples of which are we'll get the output of the number which is divided by 3, 5, and 7 at a time.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I am interested in here. As there is no other number which is a multiple of 3 numbers, it is not giving me any output. So if I just check for these 2 numbers, then there are some numbers which are multiples of these both numbers. Yeah, this is one program. Our program is completed. So next what I am interested to do is I need to check numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5. Then I need to use like this AND operator. Okay. There is no number which is a multiple of 3 and 5 and 7 in a range of 100, 0 to 100. Okay.
Okay, sir. Can't we get the whole 3 multiples? That means three multiples of 3, 5, and 7 in only one for loop.
Here in this, you are asking here,
Not.
right?
Yes, sir. We are using 3 for loops now.
Yes, yes. Just to give
Can't
you
we
a
use just
clarity,
one for loop?
we can
Can't we
use.
just use one for loop?
We can use, but there will be small problem. I'll just show it. Again, I'm pasting the code. If you are going to check for condition for this 5 also, I need to mention my condition here itself. 5 equal to 0. If I mention my
Sir, if
condition
we
here,
use R operator.
or
Yes,
so
sir.
all will be combined, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us see in that fashion also. Nothing wrong. You can use, but as per the question I have asked, I just want to print this value individually. I just wanted to print the multiples of 3 individually, multiples of 5 individually, and 7 individually. So I have used this function. So if I'm doing something like this, if a number is multiple of 3 and 5, all the combination is printed. See, if you observe here, the 15 is printed twice because this condition is satisfied here as well as here. So it printed twice.
Okay, sir.
This is the problem. And all this number comes combined. First we got 3 and we got 5. If we need to separate these multiples of 3 and 5, again we need to check, right? Okay, 5, okay, 10, okay, 15, okay, 20. We will have some confusion. So I have just printed them in a separate loop. And the question you have asked is whether a number can be a multiple of 3 or 5, right? Let us say. So here it gives us, what did I mistake? And I didn't use or. So in this output, if you observe, we are getting multiples of 3 and 5, again the same thing. We have got the same outputs, but the 15 is not repeated twice because this condition is true for one time and it is only just printing for one time. It is not checking it again. Here also what we got is the multiples of 3 and 5, but in a combined fashion. Again, we need to segregate them. Fine.
Yes, sir. Okay.
It is just to how you understand the question. You can just do it in any manner, but the question I have given is for this output. I just wanted multiples of 3 individually, 5 individually, and 7 individually. Okay. And the next question is, I need to check if the given input is a leap year or not. Okay, it is a bit big program as it is already 5-5. Let's just stop the session here, or shall I explain this swap program? It is a easy one. We'll be completing 5, and for the tomorrow session we'll be having more 5 programs.
We'll do it tomorrow, bro.
Okay, fine.
Already.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Now I have another class, CEH.
Fine. You just try to do these things. See, you try to find the logic for these questions. Let's do it in our next session. I think we don't have session tomorrow. It will be on Monday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow Saturday.
Yes, tomorrow is Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday it's a holiday. We'll be having session on
Okay.
Monday. If at all it is possible, tomorrow we'll be taking, or else I'll be informing. Probably session will be on Monday only, not tomorrow. You just
Okay.
meanwhile, as you are having 2 days just to go through all the concept, and it is easy for you people to solve these 5 programs also. If you just solve them, I'll be happy. I can make sure that you have understood all the concepts. Nothing you need to go out of something that I haven't covered. All the 5 programs can be solved with the concept I have covered so far. Okay. I'll be stopping the
Okay,
session
sir.
for today. Thank you.